Hello, First Press collectors. Thank you for joining me here. Wanted to continue on my series of First Press singles from the US and the UK. As you can tell, this isn't my update. I am going to still do my update here in probably a couple of days. I just need my wife to help me, just because there's so much stuff that the camera work will be really bad if I don't do that. So I wanted to do this one just because I got a good promotional of this single, really dirt cheap, and I wanted to kind of share it with you guys and go over the First Press collection of this. Right in the center, just to kind of get it out of the way, my boss, she went to England, and I kind of told her where to go, like all the sites and stuff like that. And I asked her just one thing, if you could get me, is off of the, when she visits strawberry fields, there's the ivy that grows on it, and she's like, yeah, I'll clip so. And so when she was on a tour, the guy asked her, so what are you doing? And she's like, don't ask, as my employee, I have a huge Beatle fan. And he asked me, and the guy was like, all right. So kind of funny, and I appreciate that for her. So my wife took that and made it in a bookmark for me, so props to her. But anyway, let's definitely get started on this. So first of all, we'll do the UK, just as normal, the UK side. So we'll do the Beatles for Sale on Parlophone Records by Bruce Spizers and Frank Daniels. And then on the US side, we'll do the Beatles Story on Capitol Records by Bruce Spizers. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and get started. All right, just to continue on, here is the UK press. So this is the sleeve that was with it. And then what's really nice as well is this is the copy of the label, what the label looks like. So these can be found with push-out centers or solid centers like this. Both are first pressings. So this is when they started making the solid centers. So you can find the solid centers or the push-out centers, which are first pressings. The way you tell if it's a second pressing record or a label is it doesn't have the sold in UK text in the center. So, but the main thing on this single, of course, is the sleeve, because this is the first time in England that they made actually a picture sleeve with one of the Beatles singles. So this is actually one of two that they made, the other one being Let It Be, and we'll definitely get that one later. But this is actually, it's very, I would put it very rare, just because only the first 250,000 copies actually came with this sleeve. Now the differences between this sleeve and the US sleeve is actually the quality of the paper, because I believe it was Harrison and Son that made the bags. So they made it out of the same material for the bags that are made to house the other singles that say like Parlophone on it and so forth. So let me flip it over for you. It's very like a flimsier kind of a paper. So here's the back. It looks exactly like the US version. It does have, which is really kind of cool, it has the wavy top, but it also has the Parlophone symbol, or the pound symbol on there. Now, I've seen some that come with like red, well, obviously red, but green. So, well, and that's the thing, I've seen some websites that show it's green, but I have never seen one that is green. So I'm not sure if they are very rare or not, but mine is actually red, as you can see. So, but definitely this was released on February 1967. So definitely kind of something that you want to shoot for, especially the bag, because they are definitely rare. It's hard to find one in good nick. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and head over to the US version side. Okay, here's the US version side. We'll go over each one of these here. So, right here, they released the same kind of concept. They had the same picture sleeve. And I'll explain why there's two labels up there in a second. But what happened was when the Beatles were making this single, Capitol was requesting it really quick. So they got done with the song, as they thought, in January of 1967. They sent them the masters to Capitol, and it was actually Remix 11, which had Mason's trumpet solo at the end. There's a 7-note trumpet solo at the end, and they thought that was going to be the final product, the final song. So Capitol started putting this out, they started making the promotional single, because this is actually the first promotional single Capitol made. So more than likely, they probably wanted to get this out so people could hear it. So they started making it, and then they got word. 1 week later, the Beatles chose Remix 14 for the commercial copies. So they took out the ending part of the 7-note trumpet. It was like it's 3 seconds, 3 seconds longer. So they took that out, but they still made these and gave them to the disc jockeys. So the disc jockeys would play it over the radio, and then the commercial copies, when they went to the store, wouldn't have the ending trumpet solo. So what happened, and they started making the labels, and that's why I have two of them up here. As you can see, one's Penny Lane. If you look, they're both you'll see that they're both West Coast copies. But if you look, it has 3 minutes there, and then the revised labels have 2 minutes and 57 seconds. So they realized they changed it to have it be released more so they have the correct time, but they didn't want to throw away the labels that they were already made, which is kind of ironic, because you would think that the 3-minute one is the rare version, but actually the rare version is the 2 minutes and 57 seconds. It's harder to find that kind of copy of a label. So, and then these, as normal, were issued with a sleeve. Here's the sleeve, and here is the back of the sleeve. It's the same as the British version. It just has Capitol and the number listed there. So, but one thing that happens is this promo gets counterfeited. So there are definitely a couple ways you can tell from a counterfeit from a legit copy. My copy, of course, had the X's here, but somebody tried to erase them. But the way you tell it, not just with that, of course, is this will be actually a glossier label. So it won't be flat. It'll be really, really glossy, kind of like how you see right here. This is really glossy. And it'll have an asterisk in the dead wax. Now, some people try to put an asterisk in there, like try to write one in, but it'll actually be machine stamped. And then it'll have the numbers etched in there as well. They'll actually write the numbers etched into the dead wax. So those are kind of some of the things to take into consideration. But all in all, I really enjoy this kind of thing where the Remix 11 was the thing that you heard on the radio, and then the stock copies were different. So, but yeah, that is the story of the promo and the commercial copy. So let's head over to the end here. All right, so we're at the end here. Hopefully this helps you guys out, and you can definitely go for this single, either the US or the British or both. But I will make my update video and give some shout out to the next time, I should say. So I just need some other, because it's a big update. So stay tuned for that. It'll probably be this weekend. So, but I wanted to say thank you for staying with me and on this journey, and hopefully you come back and visit me again. So if you have any questions, yeah, just give me a comment and let me know what's going on. So take care. Peace and love. Peace and love.